Hello everyone, my name is Teerathpreet Sekhon, and today I will be doing a short presentation on the past, present, and future of cloud computing. So what is cloud computing? Cloud computing today has two meanings. The most common refers to running workloads remotely over the internet in a commercial provider's data center. The second definition is more of a description of how cloud computing works. Cloud computing essentially is a virtualized pool of resources from raw compute power to application functionality, all available on demand from anywhere. The key advantage is the ability to apply compute, storage, and network resources to workloads as needed without having them locally. Um, a slight history on the evolution of cloud computing. The evolution of cloud computing can be traced back to mainframe computing from the 1950s. The next evolutionary step was the concept of virtual machines that was introduced in the 1970s. And then in 2002, Amazon launched the first public cloud, Amazon Web Services, that provided storage and compute services. In 2009, Google Apps Engine was also introduced that provided enterprise solutions to cloud computing. And around the same time, companies such as Oracle and HP started to provide cloud computing services of their own. So the benefits of cloud computing cuts costs for users by offloading the cost of hardware and replacing it with a pay-as-you-go cost. This also cuts labor costs since there is less need for an in-house IT specialist, and you will never lose and you will essentially lose less uptime over maintenance in a cloud computing model. Cloud computing also puts the world's most powerful hardware at your fingertips without the heavy upfront costs of making these capabilities more accessible to you. Productivity is also improved because there's time saved that will be lost on maintenance of the hardware if it was in-house and you had to service it yourself. Cloud computing being flexible in nature means that if you demand more compute power or storage, it is available seamlessly to you, so it is much more scalable than purchasing hardware on your own. Uh, there are three different types of service models for cloud computing currently. The first service model is an infrastructure as a service. Infrastructure as a service is a model where vendors provide user access to resources like servers, networking, and storage, and then the users use their own platform or software on the provided infrastructure. In this model, there is no need to pay for hardware costs. Infrastructure in this model is scalable with your demands. There is no one point of failure for data in this model since it is stored on the cloud. And some examples of this type of infrastructure are Amazon Web Services and Azure. The next is a platform as a service model. Platform as a service is a cloud computing model where users can develop and deliver applications using pre-existing tools along with the available storage and computing resources. PaaS, or Platform as a Service, allows users to test, develop, and host applications all in the same place. This model cuts the worry of infrastructure out when developing a product. Since everything is on the cloud, this allows work to be done from anywhere since the infrastructure is available everywhere. Again, examples of a platform as a service include Amazon Web Services, Oracle, and Google App Engine. The third service model is software as a service. Software as a service is a form of cloud computing that allows users to access vendor software from anywhere without the need to install anything locally on your machine. This is a type of subscription model where you pay for access to a software on the cloud. The software is self-managed, so things like updates happen automatically. This allows for users' data to be stored on the cloud, so hardware failure does not mean loss of data. Examples of software as a service are Google Docs and Dropbox. So, what is the future of cloud computing? With everything, there are still hurdles to get over that will make cloud computing even bigger in the future. Since you will be accessing infrastructure or software that is not local, a fast and reliable internet connection is required. Hopefully, the rollout of 5G mobile networks and more ambitious projects like Starlink satellites will mean that in the future, everyone, everywhere will have access to reliable, high-speed internet connections. If this happens, that means that cloud computing will be more viable in locations where currently there's not a reliable internet connection. The other main concern for the future is security. Since everyone's data is stored in a cloud, if you were to gain access to the cloud, you could potentially gain access to everyone's data. A huge deal was made when Apple's cloud was hacked and Calvin's photos were stolen from people's personal iCloud storage. Now, technically, iCloud as a whole was not hacked, but people's personal accounts were hacked. And since the data was stored on a cloud, the user's device was not needed, so this data could be accessed and stolen from anywhere. There have also been reported hacks of people's Yahoo's accounts and other countless other platforms. Um, so there is a perceived risk with storing your information on the cloud, even though essentially no cloud service as a whole has been hacked. Even despite this, despite all the hurdles and the perceived risks to cloud computing, the market grew to 214.3 billion in 2019, up to 182.4 billion in 2000, up from 182.4 billion in 2018, and is expected to keep growing into the future as more and more companies utilize cloud computing and more consumers continue to use software that is entirely based on the cloud. Thank you.